The Square and Compass, a journey through time in Darley Dale. Nestled in the heart of Darley Dale, a village that lies in the beautiful Derbyshire Dales, the Square and Compass stands as a testament to the enduring charm of English country life. This public house, with its time-worn stone walls and sturdy timber beams, has witnessed centuries of change, serving as a steadfast refuge for locals and travelers alike. Its history is a rich tapestry, woven from the lives of those who have passed through its doors, the landscape that surrounds it, and the traditions that have shaped it. The early origins, from farmhouse to public house. To understand the story of the Square and Compass, one must first journey back to the early 18th century, a time when the building was not yet a pub, but a simple farmhouse. Like many structures in Derbyshire, it was constructed from local stone, quarried from the surrounding hills. The farmhouse, modest yet solid, was a typical example of rural English architecture, functional, unpretentious, and built to withstand the test of time. The area around Darley Dale during this period was largely agrarian, with small communities scattered across the rolling hills. Life was hard, with families eking out a living from the land, their days marked by the changing seasons. The farmhouse that would become the Square and Compass was no different, its rooms filled with the daily rhythms of farm life. But as the 18th century gave way to the 19th, England began to change. The Industrial Revolution was transforming the country, bringing with it new opportunities and new challenges. The population was growing, and so too was the demand for social spaces where people could gather, share news, and enjoy a respite from the rigors of daily life. It was during this period of transformation that the farmhouse in Darley Dale underwent its own metamorphosis. Sometime in the early 19th century, the farmhouse was converted into a public house. The exact date is lost to history, but what is known is that the Square and Compass quickly became a focal point for the local community. Its location, just off the main road connecting Matlock to Bakewell, made it an ideal stop for travelers, tradespeople, and local residents. The name and its Masonic connections. The name, Square and Compass, is steeped in symbolism, with roots that reach back to the ancient craft of stonemasonry. The square and compass are tools of the trade, used by masons to ensure the precision and accuracy of their work. But these tools also carry a deeper meaning, particularly within the context of Freemasonry. Freemasonry, with its secretive rituals and traditions, was particularly influential in the 18th and 19th centuries. The movement attracted members from all walks of life, including many in rural communities like Darley Dale. The square represents morality, the compass represents the boundaries of personal conduct, and together they form a symbol of the values that Freemasonry espouses. It is likely that the name was chosen to reflect the influence of Freemasonry in the area, although the exact reasons are unclear. What is certain, however, is that the Square and Compass became more than just a name, it became a symbol of the pub's connection to the community and its traditions. A community hub in the 19th century. As the 19th century progressed, the Square and Compass grew in importance as a social hub for Darley Dale. The pub was a place where the community gathered to celebrate, commiserate, and discuss the events of the day. In an era before mass communication, public houses like the Square and Compass were vital centers of social life. The building itself was modest but welcoming. The main room, with its low ceilings and wooden beams, was dominated by a large fireplace, where a fire would crackle on cold evenings. The air was often thick with the smell of wood smoke and the sounds of laughter and conversation. It was here that locals would come to share a pint, exchange news, and engage in the timeless art of storytelling. The pub also served as a venue for meetings and events. Local societies, including the Freemasons, would often gather in the pub's private rooms to conduct their business. The Square and Compass was more than just a place to drink, it was a place where the fabric of the community was woven together. The World Wars and their impact. The early 20th century brought new challenges to Darley Dale and to the Square and Compass. The First World War cast a long shadow over the village, as many young men left to fight on distant battlefields. The pub, like the rest of the community, felt the impact of their absence. It became a place of solace for those left behind, a place where they could find comfort in the company of others. During the Second World War, the Square and Compass again played a vital role in the community. With food rationing and other hardships, the pub became a gathering place where people could find some semblance of normality. The war years were difficult, but the Square and Compass remained a beacon of continuity, offering a warm fire, a pint of ale, and a sense of belonging. Mid-century changes and challenges. The post-war years brought significant changes to the pub industry, and the Square and Compass was not immune to these shifts. The mid-20th century saw the rise of chain pubs and a move towards modernization, as publicans sought to attract a new generation of customers. The Square and Compass underwent various refurbishments during this time, but it managed to retain much of its traditional charm. The 1960s and 1970s were a period of transition for the pub. The introduction of new technologies, such as television, changed the way people socialized, and the rise of the motorcar meant that people could travel further afield for their entertainment. Despite these changes, the Square and Compass continued to thrive, adapting to the times while holding on to its historical roots. The modern era, preserving tradition in a changing world. As the 21st century dawned, the Square and Compass found itself at a crossroads. The world was changing rapidly, with globalization, the internet, and new forms of entertainment transforming the way people lived and socialized. In this new landscape, traditional pubs like the Square and Compass faced new challenges. However, rather than being swept away by these changes, the Square and Compass embraced its heritage. The pub has managed to strike a delicate balance between preserving its historical character and meeting the expectations of modern customers. The building has been carefully maintained, with many of its original features intact. The wooden beams, stone walls, and open fireplace remain central to its charm, creating an atmosphere that feels timeless. In recent years, the Square and Compass has also become a popular destination for visitors to the Derbyshire Dales. The pub offers a warm welcome to walkers, cyclists, and tourists exploring the nearby Peak District National Park. Its menu features locally sourced food, and it boasts a selection of real ales that celebrate the brewing traditions of the region. The Square and Compass today, a living history. Today, the Square and Compass is more than just a pub, it is a living piece of history. The building itself tells the story of Darley Dale, from its humble beginnings as a farmhouse to its role as a community hub and a symbol of continuity in a changing world. Each stone in its walls, each mark on its wooden beams, carries with it the memory of those who have passed through its doors. The pub remains a focal point for the local community, hosting events, live music, and gatherings that continue to bring people together. It is a place where the past meets the present, where tradition is not just preserved but celebrated. The Square and Compass stands as a reminder of the enduring power of community, of the importance of places where people can come together to share their lives. As you sit in the Square and Compass, perhaps by the warm glow of the fireplace, with a pint of ale in hand, it's easy to imagine the generations of people who have sat in that same spot, sharing stories, laughing, and finding comfort in the company of others. The pub has seen centuries come and go, yet it remains a constant, a place where the spirit of Darley Dale lives on. In the end, the Square and Compass is more than just a building, it is a living testament to the resilience of tradition, the strength of community, and the simple joys of life in the English countryside. Whether you are a local resident or a traveller passing through, the Square and Compass offers not just a drink, but a connection to something deeper, a sense of history, of belonging, and of home. Thank you so very much. And we do hope you've enjoyed listening to our short, brief history of our much beloved Square and Compass, here in Darley Dale, in the heart of our wonderful county of Derbyshire.